Alright, what's up YouTube? My name is The Air and I'm back with another video. This time it's going to be a review of the new raid. Well, it's been a week now. Leviathan. You go in, the goal of the raid, obviously defeat the Cabal Emperor. So I'm gonna first talk about it section by section and then as a whole and then kind of how I feel at the end. So the first section, I apologize if I don't get any of these names right. The Royal Pools. It's where you fight the bathers. In that section, I really like the mechanics. I had a lot of fun in that section. It didn't take our team too long to get past it. I think it took between 35 and 50 minutes for our team to get past it. At least 25 of those minutes were simply dedicated to learning what to do. Go on to the next section, or should I say, obviously because the first time we did the raid, we did the intra sections where you go to the specific locations and grab the staves, put them in the ground, defend them. I have to say I don't really like that mechanic. I'd much rather just bypass it with the underbelly of the ship. So section 2, the dogs in the pleasure gardens. I have to say this section is a very odd section in my opinion. Uh, Once again, just as the first section, there's no boss to fight, but you build up to it in a weird way. So essentially, where many of the other sections of this raid are purely coordination and communication, this one is the same thing, but add in timing. Timing is everything in this section of the raid. Well, I say timing is everything, but timing is simply on top of coordination and communication in this section of the raid. If your timing is off, you base literally everything you do on the timing of where the war beasts go and when they go. Uh, and that's it. That all your team's movements are based on the movements of the war beast. Um, Once you understand how to successfully get past it, it's not that hard. Although my team did struggle for 2 days on this portion of the raid uh, before we really understood how to the best ways to beat it. We had a couple guys in the team that were giving us some odd ideas here and there of what they'd seen people doing, and it really just wasn't working until we came out with one solution that actually got us past it. Now, on to the next section of the raid, the gauntlet. I actually think this is my favorite portion of the raid. It just feels like a really nice gaming. Like it's a really nice experience to communicate with your team in such a I have to say direct manner. If you go in with guys that you know, it's just so fun because even with guys you don't know, I did it. I did the gauntlet a second time with another group. Uh, it was a lot of fun both times. I mean, it feels like you're playing the video game form of American Ninja Warrior. It's amazing. It's such a well designed area, and it's really nice to see those types of mechanics of just. I mean, to be completely honest, uh, the gauntlet is almost structured in like a Mario Run format, except for in a first person shooter. It's a really nice mechanic in a sort of cross genre way. And then coordination because obviously the people outside the running outside the gauntlet assist the person inside the gauntlet by using his callouts to open shields for him, and I don't. It brings and another thing is in that section everyone is constantly in motion. There's not a single moment where you're standing still. Uh, actually, two people have the option to sit still for just a few seconds at a time before they run onto their next platform. But other than that, everyone's in motion almost 100%. And then at the end, when everyone runs, it's a lot of fun for your team to go through. Everyone, just bantering back and forth, trying to control the chaos as much as possible. But all in all, I have to say that's my favorite section of the raid. Now, on to the boss fight. In this one, whereas I can say the raid as a whole is much more a raid of communication and coordination rather than a raid of skill. Or not necessarily skill, but rather than a raid of the sum of individual performances. In the final portion of the raid, when your goal is to kill Emperor Callus, communication is really the only thing that matters besides simply having thumbs. If you have thumbs, the only other thing you need to beat that is communication. And not just any communication, but concise, precise, and efficient coordination. If obviously I'm not going to go into it because obviously you can find guides on what you need to be doing to beat Callus, but if the people in your group aren't calling out at the right times, this final portion is going to be very, very tough for you. We actually ran through the problem of the guy who was supposed to be calling out second thought for nearly 30 minutes that he should be calling out first, which was giving us overlapping callouts. And when a callout overlaps and you simply have to guess on what you need to do, it can lead to an unhealthy amount of wipes and a lot of frustration. Now, all in all, I really loved the raid as far as mechanics go. I had a lot of fun playing it. I felt accomplished beating it. I didn't feel like it was easy. I felt like it was very difficult. I felt like it was a task that I accomplished. But there's one glaring, shining issue just above all the rest. This raid gives you next to nothing. I believe even with the tokens and the clan engram, I got 4 items from the entire raid. Now, you also have to keep in mind that one of these items dropped at 10 light from the clan engram. And 2 of these items did not drop as powerful gear. They dropped simply in relation to the light I was already at. Only 1 of these items dropped as powerful gear. Now, this is a huge problem for people who are looking to the raid as a means to level up. It feels like the raid is no longer that boost in progression that I wanted it to be. I know it wasn't the same through and through Destiny 1, but the raid, when you overcome a feat of that caliber. I put an enormous amount of time into it simply to get to be able to do it. And doing it took me the better portion of my week. I didn't play every single day. I took off for trials and then ended up beating the raid Saturday or Sunday. But it took me a long time to do it. And I think I only got 1 or 2 pieces of powerful gear out of it, which is absolutely ridiculous considering that when I played Trials of Osiris and my team got our 7 wins, and this is not going flawless. I've not yet went flawless. I didn't have a lot of time to play Trials. We got, I think, 2 or 3 pieces of powerful gear, and the clan engram, which only dropped at 5 light, or 10 light, but it's a nice weapon. We got more powerful gear, far easier from Trials of the 9 than we did from the raid. And I really think, if you don't play the raid and you're a strictly PvP player, obviously you'll love this. But for people who either only play the raid or people who want to play both, this is a huge slap in the face. I really think it needs to be addressed how little loot that you get from the raid. The drop rates are terrible, and Prestige raid is, I don't know, still a couple weeks away. The drop rates might be better or more significant on that, but if they weren't, essentially what I'm saying is that fix the drop rates. We need a little bit more reward for, something that takes an average team I would say a good completion of the raid is going to take an LFG team between 2 and 5 hours. And that's 2 is optimum. Everyone in your raid team is the correct level and knows what they're doing. 5 being you might have a couple low levels or someone who hasn't done the raid before, and it's going to take you a couple times because you have to teach someone how to do each section of the raid. But anyways, that's it for today's video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and as always,
take it easy.